Okay, here's a video where I am showing you how to complete the square. Complete the square is a tool that you can use, whoops, the pen's not on, that you can use in order to solve an equation. Sometimes it's used to help you determine the properties of a quadratic function or other functions. But in this case, we're just using it to solve the equation. So what we want to do, if I have a quadratic, so quadratic, I've got a squared there. I want to get so that there's the x squared and the x term on one side, and then the numbers on the other side of the equal sign. Once you have it in that position, then you're ready to go. So then what you do on this side is you complete the square. Really what you're wanting to get is an expression where you have x squared, in this case it'll be minus 6x plus 9. You want to get this so it's a perfect square, so when you factor it, you have the same thing on both sides, on both of those. So there's a trick, if you know what this number is, to figure out that last number. And the trick is basically you take that middle number, or often it's b. B is that second term, right, in a quadratic expression. And you take that and you divide it by 2, and then you take that whole thing and square it. So I'm going to have x squared minus 6x. Now I'm going to put another term in right here. And what I do is I take this and divide it by 2. So it'll be negative 3 divided by 2. Oh, no, not negative 3, 6. Negative 6 divided by 2 and square it. So negative 6 divided by 2, that's where I get my negative 3. And negative 3 all squared is 9. So I'm going to add a 9 there. Okay, let me put it in a different color. So I'm going to add a 9 there. So that 9 just sort of is coming out of the blue. Well, I'm creating it, but it's a new number. On this side I have a minus 6. Now if I add 9 there, I can't just add a 9 and the two sides being equal to each other. So I have to add a 9 to this side too. So what you do to one side, you do to the other side. Sometimes you add a 9 here and subtract a 9 immediately. But when we're solving equations, you put them on both sides. Okay, so now I factor this side. So it's x minus 3, x minus 3. I made sure they were both the same so I could write it like this, x minus 3 all squared is equal to, this will turn out to be a positive 3. Let me just get rid of this bottom stuff. Okay, now to solve this equation, I'm going to use the square root principle. So I want to get at this x, that's what I'm trying to solve. So I can square root this side as long as I square root this side. When I use the square root principle, this one gets a plus and a minus. On this side here, the square root and the square cancel. So on the left side, I'm just left with x minus 3. And on the right side, I'm left with a positive or negative square root of 3. To solve for x now, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So it'll be a positive 3 plus or minus a square root of 3. So that would be the solution to that equation up there. And I can do that by completing the square. I could also do it though by using the quadratic formula. So b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Some you could actually factor. This one you couldn't have factored. If I brought the positive 6 over, there's no way I could factor that. But if I use the quadratic formula, let me just show you that quick. So I'd have to rewrite this as x squared minus 6x plus 6 equals 0. So a is 1, b is negative 6, c is positive 6. Hey, come on in.
Hi.
I'm just making a video. And so then you would plug in all the values, and at the end you should come up with that exact thing. Okay, hope that helps. I gotta stop.